Indianapolis, a hallowed home to hundreds of life's greatest achievements and shattered dreams. A living, breathing monument honoring man's will to dream, though sometimes falling short. A place where tradition is king, where victory and defeat are lessons passed down from one generation to the next. For one day each year, this sleeping giant magnificently fills to capacity as thousands enter its empty chambers. To embark upon the greatest challenge a race driver can attempt, to win the Indianapolis 500, the most magnificent sporting event the world has ever seen.
Picking up speed, out of 4. They head down to the main straightaway for the start of the greatest race in the world. Here's Bob Jenkins.
They take the green flag. The race is underway, and Little Al has the lead into 1. And a spin in turn 4. Spin in turn 4. A driver does a 360 and keeps going. Unbelievable. Coming off corner number 4. A car spun. The yellow light is out as the...
We've got an accident down on the pit wide lane. We've got one car on top of another car down there. They were down into the yellow, and it's an incredible sight down here. Got Emerson Fittipaldi has hit the wall on the inside, coming through 4. That means Al Unser pulling away.
Unbelievable. The car comes to a stop just a few feet short of the start-finish line. Emo raises his hands as if to say, I can't believe what has happened. The checkered flag waves, and Al Unser Jr. has won the 78th running of the Indianapolis 500.
The forecast of more rain on day number 2 proves correct, as ominous skies and higher humidities destroy the ideal racing conditions the drivers have encountered earlier in the week. First out to qualify is Mario Andretti, making his final pole attempt at the Brickyard.
Are you capable of winning the 500-mile race this year?
You're darn right I am. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think so.
But once again, Mario Andretti looks at the first turn on a qualification lap just down to the white line.
Andretti's run starts strong.
Now for the time and speed report, first time around, and it's a good one, over 225 miles an hour.
But the next 3 laps are down, and Mario will line up on the outside of row number 3.
Is it strange knowing that you were climbing into a car here for the last time to qualify?
Don't worry about that next winter.
Robbie Gordon puts his Valvoline Cummins Ford in the field for car owner Derek Walker at better than 221, while Jimmy Vasser runs a consistent 4 laps at over 222 for Jim Hayhoe. Both of these cars will be factors come race day. Emerson Fittipaldi is the last driver with a shot at the pole.
Eyes on him, and he's on it.
Unser Jr. anxiously awaits Fittipaldi's times.
Oh, what interest in this time and speed report for Emerson Fittipaldi, and it's 227, almost 228 miles an hour.
The speeds are good, but not good enough, and Fittipaldi will line up next to Raul Boesel on the outside of the front row.
And the run is completed. What a great run it was. And it's still Al Unser Jr. on the pole.
Al Unser Jr., meanwhile, joins Uncle Bobby and Father Al to become the 3rd Unser to sit on the pole at Indianapolis, while simultaneously becoming the first father-son combination ever to have captured Indy's top spot. Paul Tracy returns from his crash only 2 days earlier and becomes the 3rd and final Penske Mercedes in the field. It's not what he wanted, but he has to be satisfied and will start from the 9th row. Practice resumes as drivers await the cooler temperatures the final hour of qualifying will bring. Just before 5 o'clock, this. Scott Goodyear's Budweiser machine rockets out of control coming through turn 4, hitting the new safety barricade erected only the year before. Goodyear is only slightly injured, but the crews are left scrambling, and the Budweiser team will have to scramble even harder if they're going to make it into this year's 33-car starting lineup. The final hour sees Teo Fabi and Scott Brayton safely in the field, while Stefan Johansson nervously awaits his chance at destiny. Johansson's 4 laps are good enough, and now the Bettenhausen stable can concentrate on getting brother Gary into the field during next weekend's final 2 days of qualifying. With the pole position decided, Al Unser Jr. collects the $100,000 PPG Pole Award from Speedway President Tony George and tours the track in his new Ford Starcraft van. Shades of things to come for Unser, who is hoping for a repeat of his 1992 Indianapolis victory.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Race day morning blossoms bright and beautiful as the 33-car starting field rolls off. The rash of retirements leaves only 5 former winners in the lineup, the only multiple Indy winner being Emerson Fittipaldi. But 9 rookies fill out a field whose speed differential is one of the smallest in years from top to bottom. Just over 7 miles per hour separates Al Unser Jr.'s pole speed from the slowest qualifier, Brian Herta. If the Mercedes doesn't go the distance, this one will be close.
They are pretty much formed up at the start of the race. Al Jr. on the inside. Raul Boisel ducks in behind him. They're picking up speed out of 4. They head down to the main straightaway for the start of the greatest race in the world. Here's Bob Jenkins.
A very spread out field as they take the green flag. The race is underway, and Little Al has the lead into 1.
Really, I was just concerned about who was beside me, if anybody was beside me. And I came down on the start on the front straightaway, and I saw Emerson and Raul both behind me. You know, I was just thinking about just getting into turn 1 and carrying on the race.
Al Unser Jr. leads the first lap. He'll lead the next 23. It's the 7th time an Unser has led the opening lap at Indianapolis. By lap 4, Unser has stretched his lead over teammate Emerson Fittipaldi to 1.5 seconds, while the other front row starter, Raul Boisel, is experiencing problems and quickly drops back. On lap 6, an amazing sight. Dennis Fatolo does a complete spin coming through turn 4. Incredibly, he recovers and continues, missing everyone else in the process. At the green flag on lap number 8, Unser retains the lead. And continues to stretch his advantage until this on lap 20.
We have a crash in turn 2, Gary.
Roberto Guerrero lost control coming across the south short chute, did a half spin, hit the outside wall, now comes to a stop in the middle of the racetrack, well out of the groove. As the cars slow down, the emergency crew is there immediately. Roberto Guerrero, who set the track record 2 years ago in this very car, loses control in the south chute, makes a half spin, outside contact. He is out of the car and apparently okay.
On lap 23, Unser relinquishes the lead for the first time today when both he and Emerson Fittipaldi pit. Fittipaldi is out first, but Unser stalls the Mercedes engine, leaving the pits.
We were trying to be nice to the clutch. You know, the clutch was one of our weak links in the drivetrain, and so I was doing everything I could to be nice to it, and yeah, I was a little bit too nice to it. You know, we ended up stalling the engines.
Also on lap 23, a sad sight. Mario Andretti's Ford-powered Lola sits silently, the victim of ignition failure. Mario has hoped for a better final chapter to the Andretti legacy, but it's not to be.
The emotion that I felt from the crowd has just made all these years worthwhile in every way. I mean, it almost overcomes a lot of these disappointments.
The green flies again on lap 26, and Fittipaldi now leads, followed by Unser and Michael Andretti in the Reynard.
We'll pick up the rest of the rundown after we see the restart here. They're already in turn number 2, and Unser Jr. picked off Michael.
He did indeed. Now he tries to close in on Ammo, but Michael hangs to the rear of that Penske Mercedes off the corner. A big gap.
3 laps later, the third caution of the day. Mike Croft and Dominic Dobson collide in turn 1.
Oh, we got a bad crash in 1. 2 cars are gathered in. We got a quick flash fire. It is out. Cars dive to the inside. One of the cars up against the outside wall dodges the crash. They are side by side just as we come out of number 1. What happened was the car got inside low, smashed the outside wall about 100 yards from where I am. It gathered in the second car, and very quickly the safety units are out on the track.
Paul Tracy is out, a blown turbocharger the culprit. The unproven Mercedes is still safe, and Roger Penske breathes a sigh of relief. When the green flag flies again on lap 100, signifying the halfway point of this year's race, Fittipaldi and Unser Jr. lead Jacques Villeneuve comfortably, while Bobby Rahal runs a strong 4th, with Scott Brayton 5th. By lap 104, Raoul Boisel's car is overheating. A faulty water pump will soon end his long day. Eddie Cheever struggles to overcome his early stop-and-go penalty and brushes the wall so close he leaves a mark. This race means everything to its combatants. The 2 remaining Penske cars again pit on lap 125, and the lead goes back to Jacques Villeneuve for the second time today. This year's fastest rookie is running a great race. Villeneuve pits 5 laps later, putting Fittipaldi back on top. But Emo is forced to return to the pits only 3 laps later in order to remove a piece of paper stuck in his radiator. Unser is back in front. A stray can on the track brings out the caution flag on lap 136. Unser pits, giving the lead back to his teammate. 2 laps later, they're racing again.
Green is out. Into turn 1 is Emo.
They make the move in good shape, getting past some lap cars here. They're in the short chute. All is smooth so far.
The race has become a 3-man duel among Emerson Fittipaldi, Unser Jr., and the newcomer Jacques Villeneuve. Emerson stretches his lead to more than 25 seconds over Unser. By the 3/4 mark, it's his to lose. The question of the Mercedes' reliability is being answered. Fittipaldi pits again on lap 168, and Unser takes the lead for 3 laps until he too pits, giving the lead back to Fittipaldi. "25 laps to go. Emo's lead is nearly 35 seconds over Unser. 17 laps to go, and the lead is now almost 45 seconds. It looks as if the 500 will have its first back-to-back winner since Unser Sr. in 1970 and 71. Suddenly, on lap 185, disaster. Coming through turn number 4, Emerson Fittipaldi loses control.
Got Emerson Fittipaldi has hit the wall on the inside, coming through 4. That means Al Unser pulling away, but Emo, his teammate, hit the wall coming through 4, just down below us. He kept it going. It should be in the main straightaway.
Unbelievable. The car comes to a stop just a few feet short of the start-finish line. Emo raises his hands as if to say, I can't believe what has happened.
We were trying extremely hard to get through traffic. He was trying extremely hard to get me a lap down, and so, you know, he got out there too far, and the old vacuum cleaner got him.
Indianapolis can be full of irony. For lap 185 is the same lap on which Fittipaldi captured the lead only 1 year earlier when he led the final 15 laps to capture his second Indianapolis 500 crown. It was also Unser Jr. and Fittipaldi who did battle on lap 198 in 1989, Little Al crashing that year, with Emerson going on to gain his first 500 victory.
Here they are out of turn number 4. The green flag is waving, and the restart on lap 190.
Al Unser Jr. now leads Jack Villeneuve by only 5 seconds. But Unser's radio is out, and so is his communication to Roger Penske. 1 lap later, the lead is almost 10 seconds. 5 laps to go, and the lead has grown to nearly 24 seconds. Suddenly, Stan Fox is out of control. He slides and hits the wall in turn 1. The resulting yellow slows the field, and the only question that remains is whether or not the green flag will come out for the final lap. It does not. And as Unser takes the white flag signifying 1 lap to go, Dad's still not sure that this one is in the bag.
He's got to get the flag first. The crowd waving and yelling and cheering as Al Unser Jr. motors very slowly off of 4, heads toward the main straightaway. Again, those hands right on the steering wheel. He's heading toward the pit area, getting past the head of the pits and down the main straightaway and toward the start-finish line. And to call the finish of the race, the 1994 500, here's Bob Jenkins.
The checkered flag waves, and Al Unser Jr. has won the 78th running of the Indianapolis 500.
It's the 15th time the race winner has started from the pole position, and the record 9th time a driver named Unser has called Victory Lane home.
I want to thank this Marlboro Team Penske, I tell you. Roger, special thanks, I tell you, you know, he loves this place as much as I do, and it shows, you know. He brought us a special car and all that, and I just want to thank all the people out there, you know. Without you, this place wouldn't be what it is, and so we love you very much.
The win also marks team owner Roger Penske's record 10th victory at the Brickyard.
Well, I'll tell you, every time you try to put another number on the board here, it gets tougher and tougher. But with a team like we have and drivers, Emerson, Paul, and Al, of course, it makes the difference. And over the years, I've got to give the credit to our people.
Rookie sensation Jacques Villeneuve captures second and is easily named Rookie of the Year in a season that features an enormous number of newcomers.
Taking the checkered in second position was just fantastic.
Bobby Rahal overcomes tremendous adversity and a 2-year frustration at Indianapolis to finish 3rd.
Well, you beat all the Penskes but one.
Yeah, for the first B team, I guess, huh?
The Penskes have dominated this race. Still, there are surprises. Jimmy Vasser brings his Reynard home 4th, his best ever finish at the Brickyard.
Every year you come back, you feel a little more comfortable, but I don't think you ever really know this place. It's a great race course, and you have to have a tremendous amount of respect for it. And you know, it was kind to us today, but it can be mean.
Robbie Gordon, meanwhile, is 5th, his best Indy finish, but a spectacular effort considering that his seat belts had come loose the final 50 laps. John Andretti ends up in 10th after running all 500 miles. Immediately after the race, John is whisked away to begin part 2 of his 1,100-mile race day odyssey. He would finish only 36th at Charlotte, but nothing could diminish the magnitude of his accomplishment. the biggest race in the world has left 32 drivers wanting for more. Unser Jr.'s second Indianapolis 500-mile victory represents something special. He has won the biggest auto race in the world. He has done so with his recently retired father standing by his side. And ironically, race day is also the 55th birthday of his dad.
I feel very lucky that we were able to give Dad his birthday present that he wanted. And both wins have meant an awful lot to me, and so they're both dream come trues.
And so, the torch has been passed from one generation to the next. Time waits for no one, especially at Indianapolis. And in a season that saw the retirements of 3 more great champions from the sport, it also saw the emergence of fresh new talent. Drivers who will be the future heroes of the sport. Drivers who will be the future heroes of the Indianapolis 500.
Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. The new mown hay sends out its fragrance through the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, how I long for my Indiana home.